Hello and welcome to La Rosa Reads. I'm Denise La Rosa, and today I am super duper excited to share with you my January reads. Let's do this. New year, new beginnings, new books, or at least books that are new to me. I am here today to share with all of you my plans for January, my reading plans. And I'm also excited to be sharing with you this wonderful project that I'm embarking upon, where I ask you, yes, you, to choose my TBR. So kicking off the year 2023 will be Torrie from Torrie Reads a Lot on Bookstagram, and longtime La Rosa Reads viewer, Sandra. I will have her Instagram account linked in the description box below as well. This year, I am really working on being intentional, not just about books, but about everything in my life. And so with intentionality comes planning. So without any further ado, let's hop into my January reading plans. Coming in at number 1, why am I ranking these? These are not ranked, but my perhaps most anticipated read of this month is Spare by Prince Harry. This is the memoir that I have been waiting for quite some time. I am secretly a secret admirer of Prince Harry ever since he was a little pipsqueak, Growing up in the 80s, you had to have at least had curiosity, if not complete admiration for Princess Diana. I am a huge admirer of hers and was so saddened by her untimely death. And Prince Harry is one of those royals, probably the only royal aside from Princess Diana, that I have wanted to hear from over the years. I feel like in recent years, given his marriage to Meghan Markle, he has been just trashed in the media by so many people, and unfairly so. We do not know these people. We do not know the ins and outs and the intricacies of their lives and their relationships with their families. However, Prince Harry is ready to spill the tea and tell us some things, and I cannot wait because his voice is the voice I've been wanting to hear from. And wow, I have pre-ordered this audiobook and I cannot wait to dive in. I rarely pre-order, but when it came to Prince Harry, I was like, honey, click, 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 or tap, tap, tap. I cannot wait to hear his voice this month. I want to be intentional about the classics that I pick up this year, and I want to start off by reading Fences by August Wilson. This is a play, one of the plays that's a part of the Century Cycle. August Wilson hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where I live, where I have lived for over 18 years. And he is beloved in this community, and he's beloved in the theater community as well. I have not watched Fences in its entirety, meaning the movie directed by Denzel Washington, and he also stars in it along with Viola Davis. I have started it and would stop about 20 minutes in. I just kept feeling the need to read the play first, much like I did Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And so we have with August Wilson this brilliant concept of the Century Cycle, meaning that he has written a play to represent the Black experience for each decade in the 20th century. With Fences, we have this couple living in the Hill District of Pittsburgh, and their joys, their challenges, their troubles, their relationship, their parenting. It's all out there for us to just embrace and take in. And I'm sure it's going to be quite the read, quite the reading experience, as well as a movie watching experience, because I will be watching Fences after completing the reading of this play. I have declared this year the year of Lisa Cross Smith. For those of you who have been La Rosa Reads viewers, you will know that I loved me some Half Blown Rose, which is written by Lisa Cross Smith. This was my first book by her that I had ever read, and I knew immediately, as soon as I started reading the very first paragraph, that I wanted to go into her backlist and read all the books, and also to read all of her future books as well. And so I am going from Half Blown Rose to my second Lisa Cross Smith book, and it is This Close to Okay. On a rainy October night in Kentucky, recently divorced therapist Tally Clark is on her way home from work when she spots a man precariously standing at the edge of a bridge. Without a second thought, Tally pulls over and jumps out of the car into the pouring rain. She convinces the man, Emmett, to join her for a cup of coffee, and he eventually agrees to come back to her house. Okay, girl, if you want to put yourself out there like that, sounds a little dangerous, but I'm here for it. Over the course of the emotionally charged weekend that follows, okay, Tally makes it her mission to provide a safe space for Emmett, though she hesitates to tell him her day job. As they inch closer to the truth of what brought him to the bridge's edge, as well as the hard truths she's been grappling with since her marriage ended, This Close to Okay tells an uplifting, cathartic story about chance encounters, hope found in unlikely moments, and the subtle magic of human connection. Okay, so I'm left to assume that she found Emmett on the brink of committing suicide. So let me back up from my responses. I thought she just saw this fine man standing on the corner or standing on along the bridge and was thinking, I think I'm going to take him out for a cup of coffee. But as I was reading, I came to assume that this takes on a much more deeply emotional tone than I originally thought. So forgive me for, I guess I'm still in the half-blown rose zone because that book was spicy, sexy, romantic. This is a little different. So this will be my second Lisa Cross Smith book that I will read, and I plan on reading all of her backlist this year along with her upcoming new novel. It is a thriller called Goodbye Earl. So for my reflection on my 2022 goals video, I expressed that I need to do something different with my TBRs. And one of my ideas was to have you guys choose my TBR. So this month I have two friends choosing my TBR, two book friends. And my first book friend that I'm going to put in the spotlight is Sandra. Sandra, I love you so much. She is one of the very first subscribers to La Rosa Reads, one of the first viewers, and she has been loyal through and through, so supportive. I feel like I know her. We've been chatting it up in the comments all this time, and she has recommended 3 books. So she has chosen 3 books for me to read this year. I just could not wait until months later to start the first book that she recommended, and it is One Last Stop. You will also notice that this is a library book. Y'all, I'm trying to watch my coins. I spent so much money last year on books, and so I'm really trying to support my local library, so you will be noticing a wonderful tag here on many of my books. I digress though. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston was actually on my shelf, on my want to read shelf in Goodreads. Quite frankly, I just love the cover and the title, and I was intrigued. I really don't know what this book's about, but according to Sandra, she thinks it will be my vibe. For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City, yay, love the location, is supposed to prove her right. That things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. Wow, when I lived in New York City, those were my thoughts exactly. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. And there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane. Dazzling, charming, mysterious. Impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August's morning when she needs it most. August's subway crush becomes the best part of her day, but pretty soon she discovers there's one big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old school punk rocker. She's literally displaced in time from the 1970s. We have time travel, and August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help Jane. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things after all. Oh my lordy, Sandra, you know your girl, and this is right up my alley, or right on my train. I can't wait to read One Last Stop. So you guys, I absolutely fell in love with the author Rachel Joyce by reading Miss Benson's Beetle last year. And so I have been told by so many of you that I absolutely must read her novel, The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Frye. And unbeknownst to me, this is a series. So this is book 1 in a series, a 3-part series as of today. And I want to get started on this because the 3rd book in the series will be released in February. So I want to catch up and read both books before picking up the latest one, Maureen, in February. All I know is that Rachel Joyce's novel, Miss Benson's Beetle, was so character-driven, and that is totally my thing, apparently. The characters were so endearing, so unique, and just brought about so many emotions in me. I just feel like my heart went out to them. I laughed with them. I cried with them. And people say that I'm going to do the same with Harold Frye. So Harold Frye is recently retired. He lives in a small English village with his wife, Maureen, who seems irritated by almost everything he does, even down to how he butters toast. Yikes. So little differentiates one day from the next. Then one morning, the mail arrives, and within the stack is a letter addressed to Harold in a shaky scrawl from a woman he hasn't seen or heard from in 20 years. Queenie Hennessy is in hospice and is writing to say goodbye. Harold pens a quick reply and he leaves Maureen to her chores, heads to the corner mailbox, but then, as happens in the very best works of fiction, Harold has a chance encounter, one that convinces him that he absolutely must deliver his message to Queenie in person. Thus begins the unlikely pilgrimage at the heart of Rachel Joyce's remarkable debut. Okay, so yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to be deep in my feelings with this one. I'm looking forward to reading The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Frye. Torrie is a bookstagrammer that I follow like to the T. Like when Torrie makes a post or puts up a story, I am here for it. I absolutely love her reading style, her reading interests, her content. Everything about Torrie is amazing. And I just also love chatting it up with her in the DMs as well. And so Torrie, along with another bookstagrammer, have buddy reads, monthly buddy reads. And I am going to be joining them to read All My Rage. This book by Sandra Torrie is one that I have seen frequently in the book world, the book realm, on social media, up in bookstores. And I just didn't feel like I was ready to read it because I knew it would be an emotional journey. And I just feel like I needed that extra push, that extra nudge, because people say this book is everything. It is a YA novel, and it deals with friendship, so it's kind of giving me the tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow vibes already. And other than that, I don't really know much else about this book. So we have a young married couple. Their young life is shaken by tragedy. They come to the United States and open a motel, hoping for a new start. And then you have another pair that are more than best friends. They are family growing up as outcasts in the small desert town of Juniper, California. They understand each other the way no one else does until the fight, which destroys their bond with the swift fury of a star exploding. So now Sal scrambles to run the family hotel. So this is a breathtaking novel of young love, old regrets, and forgiveness, one that's both tragic and poignant in its tender ferocity. So we have this married couple, and their son is scrambling to run the family hotel as his mother's health fails and his father loses himself to alcoholism. And then Sal's friend walks a harrowing tightrope, working at her uncle's liquor store while hiding the fact that she's applying to college so she can escape him and Juniper forever. So these two young people are grappling with a lot, like quite a bit. So, it's going to be emotional for a January read, so I better get ready. And we have the wonderful gift that my daughters gave to me. And boy, do they know their mama, because Finley, Donovan, Knocks 'Em Dead has been an anticipated read of mine. I read the first book in this series. Finley Donovan is killing it back in May of 2022 and absolutely fell in love, was laughing like just hysterically laughing. I love the main character, Finley, and her sidekick slash nanny, Vero. It's just ridiculous. I love how this is like a comedy of errors. At least the first book was. And so it was just one ridiculous scenario after another, whenever Finley was mistaken for a contracted killer, when in reality she is a single mother of 2 young children and a D-list author. So here we are, fast forward to the second book, and I don't want to tell you too much in case you haven't read the first one, but Finley and Vero are up to their usual antics. They fall into this hot mess of a situation, and while Finley is not a huge fan of her ex-husband, she definitely doesn't want the father of her children to die. But someone's out to get him. Someone is out to murder him, and she is trying to protect him. But of course, in her efforts, she's just falling into one crazy situation after another. And I have already started reading this book. I'm almost finished. And I have to tell you guys, I usually don't read series because I just feel like the second and third books just disappoint. They don't really match up to the first. But this one is really good. I think the only difference so far is that it's not so much a comedy of errors. It's like cleaning up a mess, one mess after another. So the vibe's a little different, but nonetheless, it is entertaining through and through. Finley Donovan knocks him dead is giving me all the laughs. And the last book that I plan to read in January is Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. This book has been on my shelves since it was released, which was around this time last year. I don't even know what it was about this book. I think it was the generational trauma and drama and mystery where we have a Black family, the matriarch's health is failing. She maybe even passes away. And so she has left some secrets behind. And so there's this mystery that the relatives, her children, have to kind of uncover, and that just leads to a lot of emotional truths that come to be. And yeah, I think that just kind of piqued my interest. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was going to unhaul this book, and I think it's because I read The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, which was a generational trauma novel, very in-depth, very dense. And I, quite frankly, needed to step away from those types of books for a while. And this was just reminding me too much of that. But Diverse Spines, a Bookstagram account that I follow, has an amazing book club that was super successful for me. Last year, out of all the book clubs I follow, the Spines of the Month were the most popular books in my world. For me, they were my favorite reads last year. And so this is the January Spine of the Month from Diverse Spines. And so I thought, let me dig this out of my bag that was going to be donated and read it, because if Diverse Spines, if Jamise Harper says that I need to read this book, I'm going to read it because Jamise is life goals. So, Black Cake, here I come. Okay, there you have it, my friends, my January reading plans. I have all the books here in one audiobook to come, Spare by Prince Harry. What are you planning to read this month? I would love to know, so hop over in the comments and let me know what your reading plans are. And also, special shout out to Torrie and Sandra for helping me choose my January TBR. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.